Hi, students. This week we begin our study of two great figures in jazz history. That'd be Duke Ellington and Count Basie. So we'll start first with Duke Ellington. Duke Ellington, obviously, you can see, was a pianist, but along with Louis Armstrong, he is jazz's most significant figure. Duke Ellington turned jazz into a compositional art form. It moved way beyond what the commercial swing bands are doing. It turned it from a music for dancing into a music of art. Um, Duke Ellington began his career during the Harlem Renaissance, and Duke's entire career was really defined by one word: elegance. Duke got his first start in the 1920s working at the most famous black dance club in Harlem called the Cotton Club. It was there through nightly radio broadcasts that the nation heard Duke Ellington's music. And as the band leader there with his band, he was constantly writing music for all the weekly shows. That's where he started composing. Duke Ellington's career lasted for decades. Decades. He started in the 20s and went straight through up into the 70s. Duke Ellington is considered America's greatest composer. He wrote all these immense works. He took jazz beyond just a 3 minute record side or 3 minute dance tune for people to dance to, and he turned it into a truly art form. He had extended works, and he had a huge variety of different kinds of compositions. So, variety of compositions. Some of the things Duke Ellington did, he wrote a whole bunch of swing tunes, just straight swing tunes. He wrote dozens of beautiful romantic ballads. He wrote these exotic kind of tunes, Caravan being one of them, um, and they all have exotic flavors. He wrote many extended jazz works, like Black and Tan Fantasy. It's like a jazz symphony. It's like a 45-minute long work. He wrote sacred masses, music for what can only be described as jazz masses. He wrote concertos, much in the way Beethoven and Mozart wrote concertos. Duke Ellington wrote concertos, but they're jazz concertos. They were pieces of music meant to spotlight an individual in the band. He wrote these tone poems, music that described things. In fact, a lot of his stuff was very descriptive. Music described scenes or told stories. And he wrote these huge concert works. And Duke Ellington used some basic compositional techniques in his writing. He was kind of self-taught, so he kind of worked out different things. So something you'll be reading about is he voiced across sections. Well, what does that mean? That means when people arrange for a big band, it's usually a call and response technique between the sax section, brass, sax and brass. They alternate. They call and response with each other. Well, Duke Ellington started to combine different parts of the section. So he might have one muted trumpet, one trombone, and a baritone sax play a particular section. Or maybe have one of the sax players play a clarinet and put it with a bass, playing the melody. Who knows? He tried all kinds of different combinations of colors. He had many unique individual jazz musicians in his orchestra, so he would specifically write parts for somebody. So he wasn't just writing a trumpet part, he was writing the part really meant to showcase that individual. And Duke Ellington pioneered the wordless vocal. Check out these tunes: Creole Love Call, Transbluency, On a Turquoise Cloud, where there's a vocalist in there, but the vocalist isn't singing any words. They're just kind of another sound color. Duke pioneered that, but over the decades, other people took that idea. We will also be introduced to Count Basie. Count Basie, another pianist. Count Basie led one of the longest running big bands in jazz history. Like Ellington, he started early. Basie's career really started in the 30s, but it went all the way up until the early 80s. And Count Basie pioneered a style of music called Kansas City style, where unlike Duke Ellington's music, where it was these huge, complex, arranged pieces, these were head arrangements. So when the band first started out, there was no music. Bands would just play off the top of their heads, and they would riff these short melodic phrases. They were all blues based, so you could kind of make things up on the spot and work it from there. So you're going to hear a lot of great music this week, and we will see you next week. Have a good one.